Major Hurricane Larry may not be making a landfall in the United States, but certainly causing some swells, to say the least. We've got plenty to talk about on the tropical/cyclone Atlantic Ocean front. Take a look at this chart right here, GFS 24-hour snowfall chart showing some snow in the coming weeks. We also have to talk about one of the craziest data buoy signatures I've ever seen by far, out in the Pacific Ocean, still in event mode. What is going on in the Western Pacific? I will also show you the rest of the Atlantic Ocean. And surprise, surprise, did Russia have another UAP/rocket sighting in their skies? Hope everyone had a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. Here we go. Good morning, my friends. We made it. September 6, 2021, Monday, Labor Day, 9:36 a.m. And to be honest, I hope most of you are still in bed right now on this holiday Monday. We are here to talk about a lot of different things. One of those things is Major Hurricane Larry, which I promise you is not here just yet, but we're going to look at some of the effects we're going to see from this storm, not just Bermuda, but the Northeast, as well as some of the updates on upcoming Mindy and Nicholas. Now, we've had some changes in a forecast with this. We're going to try to break this down in just a moment and analyze what we're seeing coming off here in the Carolina regions off the southeast of the U.S. And then after that, we may see Nicholas, if Mindy is forming right in this area, popping up right in the Gulf as we thought it would, just on a different time frame. We have plenty of room for this to change. But really quick, I want to show you guys something. And this is very interesting. I've never seen a signature on this chart before. For those of you that follow me, we've been on this chart many times. You are looking at our data buoy center. These are the buoys that are in all of the Earth's oceans, which basically give us all sorts of readings: wind, wave height, different types of weather, earthquakes. We have our tsunami system within these buoys. And what you're looking at is one of these buoys in activation mode. This happens when the buoys are triggered. And usually you'll see a little red speck here, a little jump up or down. Usually a shark bite or even a boat might hit these things. But take a look at this signature and it's ongoing. This thing is bouncing up and down for some reason within a range mostly of 10 meters of water. You could see 5,810 meters right here and then 5,820. So between this line right here and this line, we're talking 10 meters of water. And if we go over to the chart here, we can see that even currently, right now in current time, this buoy is going up about 12 to 15 meters and then back down 12 to 15 meters. Now, immediately that would make me think of ocean swells, big open waves and things like that. But then we see this signature right here, and this is much different. This happened when the event first started, September 4th, about 2 days ago. You can see right here down on the timeline chart. And we are talking about almost a 40-meter rise. And not just one spike as a glitch. We've seen that before. We've seen one sharp, thin spike go up, and that's it. This one has multiple lines here showing multiple different interactions with this specific buoy. Now, the first thing I did, obviously, was come over to the USGS chart, and I punched in 7 days, magnitude 4.5 or higher, because based on the history of me checking these charts, something below a 4.5 will not set these buoys off. And if we come over to the Western Pacific, we really don't see anything that significant besides this 5.3 that took place on September 4th. So we have a date, an earthquake, and a start time for this event to have taken place, but it just doesn't seem right, and it seems a little off too. You can see this buoy's a little bit more north than the cutout of the Western Pacific here that we're looking at with this specific earthquake, and we don't see any big quakes in this area either. If we go ahead and click on that specific buoy, we can look at this detailed information pretty closely, and you can clearly see that these signatures were going down and then up and then down and then up, so on and so forth. So in my opinion, this is no glitch. There is certainly something going on with this buoy or around this buoy. I wish there was more we could do to find out, but this signature right here in this event mode is certainly not something you see. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a signature like this and continuing to go on. This is currently happening as you and I talk. I'm going to continue to look into that as much as possible and see if I can find an actual event that makes sense to have put that buoy into activation mode. Now, although Russia is not close to this buoy by any means, we just had a situation, or at least we were told about this situation. We could see here this was posted September 5th on the Weather Channel. I saw it in a few other places, but it looks like it was filmed around July 1st. So this probably has nothing to do with the data buoys, but take a look at the skies over Russia again. And what you're looking at is more than likely a rocket launch, but there was a part of this video that really stuck out to me, and I wanted to share that with you guys, being that we can share a small portion of this. I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and you're going to see some like sparkle things right around this area of whatever this object or vapor cloud is. I'll go ahead and let this play for 1 sec. You see those right there? Very odd. And again, I'll let this loop through so you can see a few more times. Very, very odd. Your guess is as good as mine. It only took 5 minutes this time to get to the main topic of this video, and that is Hurricane Larry plus the formation of possible Mindy and Nicholas. So first things first, one thing very significant about this storm are the swells it's creating, specifically for Bermuda. Now keep in mind, we still have a few days of this thing traveling in a north hooked direction back out into the Atlantic Ocean, and until this thing actually gets away from the United States, I will never say there's no chance of this thing hitting, because there always is. We never know what can happen. And not only that, but we need to understand the effects of what these storms do, and you're slowly seeing this thing glide all the way up the Atlantic Ocean, but the wave pool is what I want you to pay attention to. And now Bermuda getting the front end of those waves by the end of Tuesday. This situation is not going to be good for Bermuda. You're going to see the ticker I have already placed next to Bermuda, so once the storm moves into this area, we're not going to get a direct hit as of now with the data, but look at the size of these sea swells we're going to be seeing flowing right into Bermuda from the east coast flowing towards the west coast. And as we get right parallel with the storm, even if we're this far away, we are going to see 13-foot waves. Now this is constant. This isn't a wave every few minutes. This is going to be a wave pool. We've seen this happen in the past, and it does no good to any coastlines. This may be the formation or beginning of Mindy, which is going to expose itself on the east coast of the United States more than likely. But as we finish this wave pool diagram here, we can see the entire northeast is going to have a very rough shoreline going through the next 5 to 6 days. What we also need to understand is what's going to be going on in the Gulf during that time. So two ends of extreme weather going to be taking place together, plus the west coast, of course. And the keys here to remember are not exactly when we see Mindy or Nicholas form, but where they form and why. So we have Larry here moving up the east coast. Everything you see from this point going forward is a projection into the future, which may change. I'm showing you the available data we have right now, but take a look at how this changed a little bit. We initially saw Mindy forming out of nowhere underneath Louisiana, and now as we look at our invest, it has morphed a bit to now forming a little bit after passing through Louisiana and kind of forming over top of the panhandle of Florida, and then Florida itself, maybe clipping Georgia in the process. But we're seeing a common theme here, and that's what happens after it pops out into the eastern coast of Florida. And we've explained this a bunch of times on the channel. Same concept as when it popped up next to Louisiana, except we're going to pop up on the other side. If I move forward about 12 hours, we see that right there, and that could easily be Tropical Storm Mindy. We've seen these storms come and go, scoop a name, and then disappear. But this would be a newsmaker as it forms on the eastern coast, goes up the outer banks of the Carolinas, and then almost acts as a nor'easter type situation for the northeast. While this is going on, a similar situation to what we spoke about the day before yesterday, Nicholas forming in the Gulf of Mexico bend of Mexico, almost on the border of South Texas and Mexico. We see the potential Nicholas or Mindy, if this does not become Mindy, as a very stationary still storm, dumping a lot of water, whether that be southern Texas or Mexico or anywhere else this thing moves within the next few days. The timeline of Hurricane Larry actually puts Bermuda a little bit out of a major hurricane landfall if we do get close enough. We see the M's right here and then hurricane by Thursday at 2 a.m. just as we're off Bermuda to the south and to the east. We still have plenty of time to forecast and get them warnings and watches as needed, all at the same time while we begin to deal with the Gulf situation. I'll have plenty more detail on these two situations as they develop and as we get more information, but you're looking at the beginning of Saturday the 11th, which would be September 11th, and we can see now that's when the main formation of possible Mindy will be coming back off the Carolina coast, and this is when we got to start watching for a northeast ride along the Gulf Stream. Now I'm going to move forward 24 hours, and as we are moving out into the Gulf Stream, we are seeing the formation of possible Nicholas or another invest, which we will be seeing on the charts probably within a few hours today. And then a 48-hour period after our first initial frame, we now have a much more organized and counterclockwise spinning storm down in the Gulf of Mexico. The 14th and 15th will be make or break time for this storm, as we can see rotation according to the GFS. We have other models to check out, but that is the latest information and as far as I can go as far as Ventus Sky. I will get into the possible winter weather we're going to be seeing in 3 weeks just above Ontario, Canada. It is that time of year we're heading towards, but for the most part, we're going to be dealing with the Gulf and the Atlantic, which should make things a little interesting. My friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had an amazing holiday weekend. I'll be back tomorrow for normal scheduled stuff. Shout out to Canada. Please be safe. We are not done with this hurricane season, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications. notifications from this channel, and trust me, you won't be disappointed.